So the Trump asked the court to allow the removal of the Federal Reserve's Lisa Cook immediately. So there we go. On Friday, Trump requested that a federal judge deny a request by Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook to prevent the president from firing her. As a court proceeding in the lawsuit blocks the removal play out. Let's see. Trump on Monday moved to fire Cook over mortgage fraud allegations raised by the president's ally, Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Bill Pulte. Yeah, I know. Which centered on Cook claiming primary residence status on 2 mortgages obtained on homes in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Atlanta. There's actually a third, I think. Yeah. What? Good for the goose, good for the gander thing. You go after Trump for some mortgage on a building where he paid back the loan in full. And granted, it got tossed and everything, but it's like, if you're going to take like minutia, this is what it looks like when you go, oh yeah, like 2 can play this game. Like this is why these doors shouldn't be open, because there's no way like the Trump wing of the country is just like, well, y'all did it to him, got him arrested. Like, why? What? You're allowed to do it, And but really, let's just maybe all play by the same rules. All right. So he's got a couple of homes, and Pulte sent his criminal referrals to the Justice Department. She's not yet been charged with a crime. Cook filed suit on Thursday, arguing that the president hadn't met the standard of removal for cause and requested a restraining order to allow her to remain on the Federal Reserve. Trump administration's court filing argues that Pulte's criminal referral satisfied the for-cause threshold needed to remove a Fed governor from the role, regardless of whether her actions met the standard of actually being a crime. That seems silly. If it's not a crime, surely that's not something. I guess maybe if you don't do banking paperwork well, you shouldn't be on the Federal Reserve. That might actually be good enough for me. Hey, you screwed up your loan paperwork. You can't be part of the central bank. Let's see. Under any standard, making facially contradictory statements in financial documents, whether a criminal burden of proof could be sustained or not, is more than sufficient ground for removing a senior financial regulator from office. So I'm actually sympathetic to that argument, but banks are pains in the butts with their paperwork. You better get yours right. Jerome Powell's named as a defendant. Okay, so basically, this lady here, who in this picture, she is not having it. That is one thing I'm certain about. She is not having it. All right, let's go back to the fact I'm the Mac and I know that. Okay. So what's this all about? Basically, there are 7 governors of the Federal Reserve, right? The Board of the Federal Reserve. And presidents can nominate their appointments. They typically all sail through. The Federal Reserve is considered non-political, and so they just get responsible people that understand banking. Blah, 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 blah. So Trump's about to make an appointment or a nomination for an appointment right now. Okay, and so there's 6, and he's got his dude he's about to appoint or nominate, and who will probably go in. At that point, there will be 3 people at the Federal Reserve who Trump nominated, right? And there will be 4 who he didn't, I'd have to double check, but odds are at this juncture, most of those are probably Obama folk, And when Bush got into office, he didn't mess with the Federal Reserve much either. He's like, well, these are good people. They know what they're doing. Which, agree to disagree. Okay. So you got this chick, Cook. And if she gets fired for cause, well, he gets to nominate a second one. Well, now suddenly that's 4 votes out of 7 on the Federal Reserve, and he's been pushing for interest rate policy and all that kind of stuff. So he wants interest rates at 0. Get this money going, make it so our federal debt doesn't cost as much. We're borrowing very low now. Of course, there's problems with inflation, all sorts of things that occur with this, artificially holding down prices. I mean, like, how did our houses get so expensive? It's like, yeah, it ends up making it so that people just give mortgages to everybody at 0%, regardless of how qualified they are. It increases demand on the houses exponentially. And then when you get a bunch of BlackRock people saying, hey, let's buy up the American dream, also borrowing at 0%, going, hey, we'll just buy them all. We'll pay overprice because we know we're going to hold it for 100 years and rent the American dream back to these people because they're going to be priced out. Like I think I saw something that was even. Tell me about it. What was the thing that was even worse about this?
BlackRock buys developments, keeps them under construction for about a year, roughly. Makes them look like they're done. Makes them look like it. Then they sell those houses to another fund they control.
Just a couple of them, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 3 different models, for example.
Yeah.
Which jacks up the comps in the area. So now they can sell the whole neighborhood or rent the whole neighborhood at an inflated price.
Yeah, and then so the comps are just bought by themselves for an inflated price, and they use that to set the market price, which is, it's even crazier. And so when they buy the already made houses, they go, whatever, I'll pay over. Why not? Price is more valuable. If the house is more valuable, you're less likely to afford it. Pay me rent. So anyway, so that is also part of the American dream. Okay. So, but it goes further than this, right? So Jerome Powell is the chairman. He's the chairman of the board, and he is until May.
Too late, Jerome.
Too late, Jerome. Yeah, that's right. Too late, pal, or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's until Trump wants to fire him. So in May, his term as chair will be up. They can vote in a new chair from the board. His term on the board goes until 2028, right? So Powell can stay on the board till 2028. He just won't be the chairman of the board.
Is that the Magnificent Seven or whatever it is?
Yeah. So like he'd be back to being one of the 7, not the most magnificent with, I should have looked that up. I wonder how much more power the chair has and that kind of thing. Because really, you only have one vote. That's how boards work. But you're the face, and I don't know. I'm sure your guidance means anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm sure you set executive direction or whatever. Okay. So if Jerome steps down in May, if he goes, I'm just going to retire. I don't want to deal with this nonsense. Well, then Trump gets another one.
Wow.
And then he'll have 5 out of 7, which might be sufficient enough for Powell to go like, I'm not going anywhere. Like 2028. What year is this? So 5, 6, 7, 8. So January 2028 is still the beginning of Trump's last year when the election will be. So no matter what, he steps down. No matter what, Trump's going to get to name a 5th. And so the clip I was telling you I was looking for, which I couldn't find, was Jerome Powell talking about, why the Federal Reserve should be independent from politics. Because if not, you might see things like people trying to manipulate elections with interest rates and making political calculations on things.
Good point.
That's an interesting point. I do remember, now no policy was set, but I do remember going into election year before Biden left. Powell's like, I don't know. We could see rates going down. And so then the market went up. And then he had another one goes, we could see rates going down. Market goes up. If you're an incumbent, you want the economy looking good. And then, of course, they didn't go down. They didn't go down at all. He just said they might, but he didn't. It was almost like he was trying to affect the outcome of the election.
No.
Yeah. And like Trump was like, I'd fire that guy. And he's like, I'm not stepping down. Trump can't fire him. But that's the thing. They go, hey, this needs to be independent. But they're appointed by politicians.